Selamat siang. Welcome back to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. And this is June 13th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. And what is the weather like today? It is another hazy, overcast day. A little warm, 31.1 degrees Celsius. The humidity, 65%. Rained just a little bit yesterday, just some drizzles. And the wind speed is 1.2 kilometers per hour. Overall, things are pretty good here. More and more tourists are coming in, restaurants filling up, hotels filling up. There are still businesses closed in sections of Bali that are not very much visited. But I've been seeing foreigners wandering around, not in this kampung, but wandering around in Singaraja and down over by the harbor, and of course over at Clandy's, the supermarket. So a lot of stuff as usual. Let's get started with the numbers. And the numbers are pretty stable, still up over 500 nationally, 574 new cases, 374 recoveries, only 3 deaths. Bali new cases, 19, Bali recoveries, 5, and Bali deaths, 0. And so the government is still paying attention to this because we're up over 500, and so there's monitoring going on and talk about bringing back the mask and the necessity of everybody getting vaccinated. But we have new Omicron variant in Bali, of course, why not? And that will be one of the segments coming up. But first, let's talk about something really positive and happy. The 44th Bali Arts Festival started yesterday, yes, June 12th, and it runs through July 10th, and that is down in the south, of course. The 44th edition gets started with a parade, and the president was expected to open the festival, as is usual, but he had to cancel, and so Interior Minister, Minister Tito, was accompanied by who else? Pak Sandiaga Uno, and of course the governor of Bali. After cutting back for 2 years because of the pandemic, this year's festival returns with a month-long program of artistic competitions, seminars, discussions, parades, dance performances, musical presentations, orchestra performances, more parades, and awards programs. And Bules will be represented. We're sending some musicians and dancers down south. The festival this year has adopted the theme Danu Kurthi Hulungan Amrita, meaning glorifying water as the source of life. Artists and performers from around Bali will present programs reflecting this theme. As in the past, artists from all of the other provinces in Indonesia and foreigners as well are invited to come to Bali to perform. And so it's going to be an interesting month-long festival. The festival was first held in 1979. It was started by the then Governor Ida Bagus Mantra, and at that time it stretched over 2 months, and as the festival has evolved over the years, it has moved down, been pared down to 1 month. 1 month is, I think, plenty. The festival is intended to motivate people to explore, discover, and display artistic contributions of the Balinese community. And it offers a variety of unique and different themes each year. And so if you are here, and most of you are in the south, wow, this is something you should see, especially if you're here just for sun, sand, and sex, the 3 S's, as I say. Learn about some culture while you're here and take a look at what's going on in the festival. And you can find the program online. So that's the good news. And there's more good news coming up. But let's take a look at Omicron. Omicron new subvariants in Indonesia. People urged to maintain health protocol. And where are the variants? Here in Bali, of course. So Indonesia has 4 patients that were reported with the new subvariant of COVID, Omicron, and that's the BA4 and the BA5. 1 patient who was infected was an Indonesian. The other 3 were foreigners. They were here as delegates for the Global Platform Disaster Risk Reduction, which was last week, 2 weeks ago. The Health Ministry spokesperson Mohammed Srahil asked people to maintain strict health protocols following the frequent emergence of Omicron variant BA and B4. Well, it's not really frequent. It's only 4 cases so far. He said, health protocol becomes the main effort besides vaccination. We definitely don't want a surge of cases like what happened to the previous Omicron and Delta variants. He added that the loosened mask mandate outdoors would be evaluated if there is an increase in new cases due to this subvariant. The 3 foreign patients infected with the new subvariant showed no symptoms, and another patient had a sore throat and fatigue. Pak Srahil explained that despite the faster transmission of BA4 and BA5, there's been no indication of a higher severity level than the previous Omicron subvariants. So, he said, there's no reason to panic. It's a light symptom and we can self-isolate. He did say that the new subvariants seem to be able to avoid being stopped by natural immunity that we've developed through having previous variants or through the vaccination. So he said what we must watch out for is the virus immune escapability, meaning that it can avoid one's immunity. Great. Does this mean more shots? I hope not. And the folks that were infected with the new subvariant, yes, they'd all been vaccinated, and one had been vaccinated 4 times. So this should fuel the anti-vaxxers' argument that you don't need a vaccination. But as we've talked about many times before, getting vaccinated does not mean that you are immune from getting this at all. It means that the symptoms will be lighter and that you are less likely to get it. Okay, so am I going to worry about this? No, not now. I'm not going to worry about this at this point. Let's get on to the economy. Indonesia woos Tesla with green energy. So Indonesia is continuing to pursue the world's richest man. The government is promoting industrial estates supplied with electricity from renewable energy sources as it hopes to attract foreign direct investment by multinational firms conscious of their carbon footprint. Pak Luhut said this past week that the government has proposed that Tesla build a factory in Batang Regency, Central Java, with an annual capacity of roughly 500,000 electric vehicles per year. Did I say annual and then per year? Okay, redundant. The government considers this location to be suitable because it is close to geothermal power sources, estimated to be able to supply 400 megawatts of generating capacity. Pak Luhut said we could channel this green energy to the Tesla factory. Indonesia has been increasingly protective of its new and renewable energy sources, and those are called EBTs, and I'm not going to do a lot of the initials, as it's maintaining a commitment to decarbonizing its economy, which includes making energy transition the focus of its G20 leadership. President Jokowi and his ministers have floated the idea of banning the export of electricity generated from EBT sources, saying that if the government was to export this electricity, it would redirect investments to countries that would receive the electricity from Indonesia. Wow, okay, talking about being protective. The investment ministry called for a ban on the export of electricity generated from EBT sources, but this conflicts with a deal of solar power from Batam Riau to Singapore that had been signed by the Energy and Mineral Resources Ministry. Okay, so we got a couple of ministries, one saying we're not going to export it, and the other saying, okay, we've already got this deal here to do this. I don't know if that's a done deal, but it may be canceled because it seems the president is in favor of not exporting our renewable energy electricity. Getting back to Musk, Pak Luhut said the car maker had shown interest in the North Kalimantan Green Industrial Park, which has been under construction since December of last year. And this industrial park is drawing power from hydropower and solar power plants developed near the site. So Musk is interested in North Kalimantan. The government wants to have him build a factory in Central Java. Will he do either? Not sure. Why is it not sure? Well, because Pak Luhut said he can't provide any details on a possible Tesla investment because the government has signed a confidentiality agreement with the company. And while Thailand has become an agent of Tesla EV cars, according to Pak Luhut, Indonesia does not want to do that. They want to be a producer of the EV cars. Okay, and that is a good idea. Generate some more jobs here. Pak Luhut said that talks with satellite-based internet provider Starlink, part of Musk's SpaceX, has progressed further, and he said that the deal has been discussed with the president the other day. And so how is this going to affect Indonesia to get an internet provider, the Starlink internet provider? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Pak Luhut also said that Tesla has shown an interest in developing the semiconductor industry in Indonesia, but again, he couldn't provide any details because of a non-disclosure agreement. Okay, Mr. Musk does not want his dealings known with Indonesia, apparently. And Ford Motor Company is also planning to enter Indonesia's EV industry. Indonesia is, according to this article, the world's largest nickel producer and the owner of rich deposits of cobalt, bauxite, and copper ore, the main components in the production of electric car batteries. Indonesia has targeted to become an international hub for the EV industry. Okay, things are developing in this side. And here's something I didn't know. Hyundai has begun manufacturing at its first electric car assembly plant in West Java. Wow, okay, when did that happen? I missed that story. Hyundai's factory produces the car maker's newest EV, the Ioniq 5, with an annual capacity of 250,000 vehicles. Pak Jokowi said his government was aiming to establish an integrated EV ecosystem that would include such industry activities as metals mining, battery production, and car assembly. And so Indonesia plans on becoming a leader in EV production and batteries and semiconductors too? Wow, okay. We are moving along quickly into developing the economy, and so have to keep an eye on this and see how this works out. Is Musk going to come to Indonesia or not? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And more on the economy. Economy expected to grow over 2% as Bali tourism improves. Growth in the first quarter was 1.4%, but of course we have a lot more tourists coming in now, and tourism is the main contributor to Bali's economic growth. And so if we don't have any more setbacks here, no coronavirus subvariants that explode or any of the other disasters, natural and otherwise, that, well, unfortunately have afflicted us over the last 20 years or so, we can be looking forward to a lot more people coming into Bali over the next couple of months. The BI representative reminded people that the global economy is still facing various challenges due to the Ukraine-Russia war that's affected global economic growth. And an interesting article, which I'm not talking about today, the Indonesian government is cozying up to Russia. I don't know what that's about. I just read the headlines, did not get into that. Good news on the economic front. And now, what about Borobudur? Yes, we're going to catch up on Borobudur again because, well, this is a big story. Borobudur new entry fee plan based on UNESCO study, says Luhut. So Pak Luhut has gotten back in the news again after all of this criticism and a number of ministers and governors getting in and talking about, well, this is really what's going to happen. Pak Luhut claims that the plan that he announced last week is based on in-depth studies with the international organization UNESCO. Pak Luhut said, in terms of Borobudur, we did a comprehensive study with UNESCO and we eventually got to that number, but it has been postponed after it caused a fracas. Apparently, one of the aspects uncovered in the study by UNESCO is that Borobudur has been reduced in terms of its height. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean it's sinking? And this is apparently caused by accumulated weight of tourists throughout the years, which is the main reason behind the plan to restrict the number of tourists to 1,200 per day as recommended by UNESCO. Pak Luhut also said that there's going to be a new toll road that is going to pass by there and that this will potentially attract even more tourists in the future. According to rough estimates, they came up with 26,000 more. I don't know how they come up with these estimates, these numbers. Is it just like pulling something magic out of a hat, out of the sky? I don't know. Also, Pak Luhut said, boy, he's defending himself on this one. He mentioned homestays in the surrounding area and said they're starting to be packed with tourists as tourism is recovering, and this will also increase visits to the tourist destination. He said these were all aspects taken into account when considering implementing the new policy for Borobudur in order to meet the needs for revitalizing the Indonesian cultural heritage. And here is something, a little follow-up on Borobudur that is interesting, and some of these places I have never heard of. 5 must-visit temples in Indonesia besides Borobudur. So if you want to visit some temples and you don't want to go to Borobudur, or you've already been there, here are 5. And I'm going to give you a little short breakdown on them. Prambanan, and you, I'm sure, know about Prambanan. Prambanan is the largest Hindu religious temple in the archipelago, and it is located in the Sleman Regency, closer to Klaten rather than Jogja, but easy to get to from Jogja. Sewu Temple, located in Klaten, Central Java, is related to popular legend of 2 lovers, and in order to prove his love to Princess Bandung Bondowoso was asked to build 1,000 temples in one night. He managed to build 999 temples, but he was not able to get to the 1,000th, so he cursed his proposed love to be the 1,000th temple. That is why the temple is named Sewu in Javanese, which means 1,000. Okay, never heard this story before, never been there, but it's a place I like to go. You know, Java gets a lot of bad press from tourists that come in here to Indonesia, and Balinese too as well. Oh, they come from Java, this is Java, that's Java. But Java is a great place to visit. I've been to Java many times over the years, and well, people are lovely. Once you get out of the craziness of Surabaya or Jakarta and travel around, there is some cool stuff to see. So if you are here for a long term, I highly recommend getting over to Java and doing a little touring. And so some of these temples are places you can visit. There's Ratu Boko Temple, and that's located close to Prambanan, and tourists can reach the top stair to enjoy stunning sunsets and sunrises. And then outside of Java, there is Muara Takus Temple, and it's in Riau. It's a legacy from the Sriwijaya Kingdom. Wow. Now, I would like to get there. I don't think I'm ever going to get to Riau, though. But that sounds cool. And the 5th temple, similar to Muara Takus, Muaro Jambi Temple, is said to be a relic of the Sriwijaya Kingdom, and the Malay Kingdom is located in the Maro Sabo district, and it covers a vast area, 3,981 hectares, making it the largest Hindu-Buddhist temple complex in Southeast Asia. And let's wrap this up Bules Behaving Badly segment. Haven't done one of these in a while, and this one is, I don't know, foreigners here. For the sake of TikTok content, Caucasian climbs sacred Banyan tree. Yes, so foreign citizen climbed a sacred tree in Tabanan 2 days ago, Saturday. And this time the Banyan tree is located in Tabanan. The bad bule we're talking about, a young Australian man who climbed the tree up to a height of 10 meters for the sake of TikTok content. So this went viral on social media. You can see the photos, right? Okay, so at least he was not completely naked. He still had some shorts on. And he picked up a lot of viewers because the tree apparently is located on the Denpasar-Gilimanuk Highway. All right, let's do this like out where everybody can see you. So the head of the Banjar said that he had gotten a report around 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday that somebody was climbing up this sacred banyan tree. And so he immediately goes over there to find out what's going on. And so he said when he first arrived, the foreigner did not want to come down. People were telling him to come down, but he did not want to come down. The local residents were eventually able to convince the foreigner to come down, and the police were called, And according to the Banyan, the Caucasians didn't wear clothes, they only wore pants. Well, that's wearing clothes. So he was not naked like our last sacred tree lady, Alina, if I remember her name right. He emphasized, I love this part of the story, he emphasized that the man who climbed the tree was known to be a foreigner because they could tell by looking at his face, and additionally, he communicated using English. Okay, so I guess you got the white face and you're speaking English and they know that you're a foreigner. Okay, I hope so. However, there were some people in the village who could speak English and they were trying to persuade the foreigner to get down, and well, eventually succeeded. In order to avoid unwanted things and because they were afraid the foreigner was stressed, they took him to the police station. And and the police chief there emphasized that after being taken to the police station for questioning, it was known that he climbed the tree because he wanted to make TikTok content and he didn't know that the tree was sacred. Foreigner was staying in Jimbaran in South Kuta, and because of his actions, he's been subject to a fine of 500,000 rupees to pay for a cleansing ceremony. However, during a meeting with the residents, he said he only had 150,000, but they said that he could come and pay them again next week, and he needs to attend the ceremony as well. Now, in the original article, it kind of ends here where they said that they let the foreigner go back to the hotel because, well, there was no harassment in his actions, and he was still wearing clothes, or kind of wearing clothes. And they said it was different from the case at Marga, where the woman obviously did not have any clothes on. But it appears in a follow-up article that the police did report the offender to immigration, and immigration will be interviewing the young man. So what immigration is going to do, I don't know. He's offended people by climbing up on a sacred tree. He's agreed to pay. Apparently the village is okay with that at this stage. I don't know how immigration is going to deal with this, but of course we've got Bules behaving badly. You have to end with something humorous. Okay, that is it for today. If you found this useful, helpful, enjoyable, amusing, non-irritating, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Uploads on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and on Sunday a cooking video, and a video was loaded yesterday for my wife's video, and not cooking there, she is making these little decorative flowers. So if you're interested in that, you should take a look at that, because she makes some lovely flowers out of vegetables to decorate the dishes that she cooks. Okay, thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today, especially in the world we have now. Kindness is needed. Stay safe, and I will see you on Wednesday.